Okay, let's have a quick go at exercise 1. We have a formula y equals -3 times -2, 3x minus 2. We've got a for loop here, suggested how to code it. You need to write code that outputs the following xy pairs. Okay, so it's obviously a row. If you analyze this, it goes 0 down to 20, and this goes -2. This is obviously your x value if you look at the formula, and this is the y value. So there's the formula, -3x minus 2. Let's turn that into a little piece of code. So I go back to my IntelliJ environment. We don't need, let's just delete any excess we need here. We're going to just pretend we have a very simple, there's our simple main method, right? This was from a previous video. If you don't know how to get in IntelliJ to a main method, then I would simply recommend you go back to that first video where I talk about IntelliJ features. Okay, so the equation was, let's just write it down, y equals -3 times x minus 2. We need to basically output it. If you look back at the list, its x goes from 0 down to 20. So let's create a loop. Open close bracket, open squiggly bracket, hit enter, then insert into here your values. Now x is going to be the value that's going to increment from 0 to 20. It's going to keep on going as long as it's equal to or less than 20, and every time it goes around the loop it's going to pop up by 1, x plus plus. That's the basic signature. The notes are in your video, and how it all fits together. Right, so we need a system out statement because we're going to print a line. I could break it down into 2 steps. Why not do that? So if I just create a string, and we call it out string, and what we're going to pop into here is we're going to use this just to build up the 2 values, the x and the y, inside the loop. We'll put the declaration of the string outside, but don't feel obliged to do it in this way. I just want to help you think this thing through. So first of all, out, let's call it out rather than out string. It's if I can type, the advantage of that is it just keeps it. So we just do plus equals. We're going to output the x value. Then what do we want on the output? We've got a comma. So every time we do it, we're going to put a comma in. Then we are going to add in the y value. To calculate the y value, why not calculate it inside here so you can see it? So if I say int y, and I presume we're just dealing with integers, I hope, equals -2 times the x value minus 2. Right, notice, and the great thing about programming is that it should, oh, it's -3, apologies. Okay, so that's how we get the y value, and let's pop it into here, y. We want it to be a carriage return at the end of each single line, because if you think about it, otherwise it will just pop it out. It's 2 different ways. You can build a string up, or you can put a carriage return in there. Let's just now system out print this line, and let's pop out variable inside here. That's not necessarily the best word for it, so I'm just going to use refactor, rename it, and call it str, short for string. Okay, so I'm declaring a string, making it empty. I have my loop. That's the number of times I go around my loop. Okay, look at the 3 parts. I work out what the y value is, store it there. I create the string with a comma in between, and then I output it. See if it works. Let's hit run and see what we get in the output. Whoa, it doesn't quite work. Notice it's doing some very, very strange stuff. So can you spot where the error is? Why is it doing all that? Why does it keep on adding on? The reason is very simple. I'm using a plus statement here. So I'm basically building a string. While I was doing this, I had in my mind that the string would build up inside the loop, and then after the loop you would do a output. But as you're doing the system out print line inside the loop, you just need to build each row one at a time. I was basically trying to build the whole lot. Let's run it again. And that looks right. Okay, so that's a very, very simple first example. Use this, help yourself work out variations.